Ah, shit, these screens suck. Hey, there's my cocktail there.
Oh, what do you got? What are you drinking?
I went with a Casamigos
Ooh.
because I got the bottle as a gift for a birthday present, and it's a great tequila. And we drank it all night one night at the Fat Black. Me, you, and I think maybe Ari and Mackie. A couple people came in and out.
Oh
And
man.
we've got so hammered. We walked outside, the sun was out. And then the next day, I remember texting you at like 6, and you're like, dude, I'm in so much pain. I'm like, me too. I've been puking all day. My head is killing me.
Oh, dude, those felt like grungy Rat Pack nights where
Yes.
we'd be trying to leave and you'd be like, ah, I gotta go. I just got off the road, and one of us would be like, one more drink, and you'd be like, all
Right.
right, what the hell, you know?
Exactly. Because like we used to get shit faced together all the time. We were in our 20s. We had more
Yeah.
time. And then we started getting busier with the road. And you're doing sets here. I'm doing sets there. So when we got together, it was like we couldn't leave each other. You know, we had to just keep boozing.
Yeah, you look for the hang. It's like when you're young comics and you're open micers, you get that every night. But when you're older and you're on the road, you don't see your friends as much. So you're like, shit, we got one night to do a week's worth of drinking. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. And then we got free drinks because it was the cellar. And oh, man, it was just a lot of late nights. And yeah, you got to pack it all in. That's what's so hard about the pandemic is, I mean, obviously the comedy part sucks, but the hang, like we used to sit
Yeah.
at this table for hours and it was like therapeutic. And then now that's why we do this shit.
Dude, you're so right. And that was the thing about the Comedy Cellar is that they wouldn't kick us out. So we'd be around the corner
No.
at the Fat Black Pussycat, and we look down our phone thinking it's 2 a.m. and it'd be 6, like
Right.
constantly. We're like, how
Right.
the fuck? Because there's no windows. They just block off the door. So it's like you may as well be in a casino at that point. You're just like, I'm just drinking. There's no time anymore.
No time. It's all free. And then Liz, the person who runs the cellar, lives 2 blocks away, and she's a booze bag. So if we're drinking, she's like, great.
Yeah.
And she wants to get drunk, so she'll keep it open later. And, you know, it's 5 a.m. No one closes.
Liz will drink dirty martinis out of a pint glass like a boss. She is the
Yeah.
boss, but that's where like a boss comes from. Maybe you drink like a boss. Bosses probably
Yeah.
have to drink.
Yeah, because she's got all that weight on her shoulder, the scheduling and the TV stuff and the annoying comedians bothering her. So when
Oh my
she
God.
when
I
she
can't.
has the chance to tilt one, she's gonna do it.
She's trying to have a drink, and some comic comes in like, "Did you see my tape?" She's like, "Fuck off, leave me alone."
Exactly.
Every
Oh,
comic, the comics that walk in and shake every fucking hand. Will COVID stop that?
I know. Jesus Christ. Enough with the handshaking. Even in the movie Comedian, Seinfeld's like, we just shook. We got it.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like he
Also,
feels it too.
it's not just a networking thing. It's like a thing of a drunk.
Sure.
Because
Sure.
like drunks will like shake your hand and like do it, and you're like, we just shook. Come on, we
Right.
just, what, you get one shake.
One shake. It's kind of an acceptance thing. Like, hey guys, I'm here. You accept me. You know, you barely know me, but please shake my hand. That means I'm in.
Yeah,
How about you
It-
earn your in? How about you say something funny or grab us? Not just a shake hand, because you're using social norms as
yeah,
a way in. You're kind of abusing it.
yeah. It's tough. It's tough. Yeah, but it's tough because we're already uncomfortable. So when you put in the uncomfortable position, we're just like, all right, we're in. Whatever you need to make this go away.
Right, right. I know. It's tough. But by the way, Casamigos, George Clooney, right?
Sold it, made like $1 billion on it.
Unreal. Who would have thought the liquor biz was the way, you know, it's like Jay-Z and Puff Daddy and Sammy Hagar, all like made zillions off of liquor.
We should make a liquor brand and like just try to just on the chance that we pop.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, we're not gonna pop like Clooney, but we might pop enough
Right. I
to
mean,
sell.
what's the
Rock has
difference? I
got
can't
The
tell the
Rock.
difference.
Well, The Rock has Terramana. That's the big one. The Rock. I got that in the freezer. It's pretty good.
What's Terramana?
It's like another it's like a Blanco tequila silver. Uh, God, am I
Okay.
what did I say? Blanco. Ugh, I hate it.
That was
Uh,
Street Fighter's character.
The Rock has Terramana. It's good. And then remember Corolla had Mangria. Does he still have that?
Still has that. He's got Brose was another one he had. Yeah, I think he cleaned up on that shit.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a
like
good move.
I mean, you get something. It's like normalizing a kind of pussy drink, but you put
Right.
a man thing in front of them. They're like, oh, we could have it. You know?
Also, Oh, sorry, my fucking computer's being weird. Yeah. Also, it's like it's a genius sale because if you're a fan of a guy, you'll buy his shit, and everyone wants to drink anyway. So you get
Yes.
that perfect like Tiger Woods sells a watch. I'm not gonna buy that watch, even if I like him, but
Yeah.
I still need a drink. So it's a pretty smart investment.
I'll tell you though, Tiger Woods sells a lube. I might listen. Something sexual he could get me to bite because he is a legendary poon hound.
One of my old jokes. Tiger, how many supermodels did you fuck tonight? 4. All right.
Remember, Geraldo had a bit, something how people they don't understand sex addiction, but like I bet like to his wife, he was like, "There's some things that I bet you don't understand, like like I don't understand your obsession with shoes, but if a pair of free shoes knocked on your hotel room door every night, you might keep a pair." I was like, "Oh, that's a fucking great angle to like defend the cheating."
Great angle, yes. So good. So good, the Geraldo. Valedictorian of Columbia University.
Was it? Yeah, I mean, he's a brilliant guy.
And he went to St. Regis.
Do you ever get bummed that we didn't get to hang out with Geraldo at the cellar?
A little bit, yeah, but I think he was a little squirrely. Like I met him once or twice because I was such a fan. I like paid money to go see him at Gotham once and
Dude,
once at Comics.
do you remember? Yeah, I sat next to you at Comics.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, it was you and me, and we listened. My friend was recording the set. My friend Elliot was recording the set,
yes,
and he couldn't listen to it because every other joke, one of us would be like, "Oh shit, that was amazing!" We'd be like nerding out.
That's great. Yeah. He was so fun, but like List has this famous story about 20 years ago over David Tell in Maine or some crazy thing, and David Tell's like, "We're drinking tonight, and I'm gonna drink you under the table," and List was like, "I'm 20 years younger than you. I'm a Boston drunk. Let's bring it on." And he said 3 hours in, he was like, "No more, no more, please, sir, please. I'm sorry." And I think Geraldo was the same way.
List is like the kid in Unforgiven who's like, "I can murder a guy," and it tells
Yeah.
Eastwood like, "You don't want any part of this shit."
Exactly. Yeah, this is another level there. I'm way more of a drunk and a deviant than you. Plus, I think there was some blow involved and all that. So
Yeah,
you
no,
couldn't keep up with Dave's. He's the Yoda of jokes and drinking.
He's like Yoda meets Hemingway because there's like a lyrical nature to his humor and shit, and but then also the drink, and you're like, fuck, we didn't know Attell when he drank. We knew him since he's been sober. He's still fucking brilliant, but
yeah, I know him. Dane Cook never drank. Oh, Nick Griffin was a booze bag apparently.
If you don't know Nick Griffin, look him up right now if you're watching this, because 11 or 12 of the best Letterman sets you've ever seen. If you like jokes, watch Nick Griffin.
Unbelievable, great writer. I see him at park shows and shit. Like he's out there. He's writing new jokes. Have you heard his jokes on the couch? He has a chunk on couches.
Oh, dude, he's the best. I mean,
killer.
I love his joke where he's like, he says these celebrities, they're always complaining. The paparazzi's bothering me. Oh yeah, Visa's bothering me.
So good. Yeah, he's got those bits about how like Brad Pitt complains and how he would kill for those complaints. I mean, he's killer. He's one of the best, but who knows? This business is all topsy-turvy.
This life is topsy-turvy, man. It's all good. I'll tell you what I'm drinking because
oh, please.
You told me I love the Casamigos choice. Love tequila. It was between tequila and scotch tonight for me.
Those are my two.
Those are your two. I like doing a little wine in the winter too, a little red wine.
Yeah.
Why not? But I don't even know what this is. It's my agent, our old agent, Hillary Robbie, got me this. It's a nice scotch.
Wow.
It tastes delicious. It's really, really good.
Is it peaty? Is it
It's a little peaty. It's not like super. I mean, shit, man. I love a good like Lagavulin. That's the shit, right?
So good, so smooth. Yeah.
That was like that gave Amy Schumer major points that was in her rider. That I'm like, oh, she fucking drinks peaty scotch.
Right. I know that shit's amazing. Just on ice or neat. So good.
No, it's just really smooth. It just doesn't even taste like. I mean, the shit will still give you a hangover. Brown liquor will still fuck me up.
That's why I was a big whiskey, bourbon, rye, scotch, loved all that shit. But Bert told me that tequila is, or maybe it was Ron White. Tequila is the only liquor that's an upper, and it's a better hangover because it's clear.
Yeah. No, I'm sure. I mean, you got to go easy with the brown stuff these days, but damn, dude, it is good. Like I do like this shit, and it is fun to like look through your liquor cabinet and realize like, oh, like your reps just like there's. I'm never gonna go through all this shit. That's so like that's such a like agent gift. They're like, here's a bottle of scotch. I'm like, perfect.
Yeah, and it's such a weird thing that they're like, "Hey, keep your life in order, make us money, but here's poison." It's a weird message. But hey, I'll take it. I mean, it also kind of shows we don't actually have a problem. Like we like the sauce,
Right.
but I got a full bar cart over there, and I don't hit it that often. So
No, if we had a
it's
problem,
fine.
they wouldn't get us one nice bottle. They get us like eight shitty bottles. You know?
Right? Yeah, that's the problem. The guy with the fucking nips, those minis. Hey, that could be a bit. Like, you're somehow more of an alcoholic if you have less booze.
Oh, I mean that was like a thing. I remember Bukowski had that book, Hollywood, because they made that movie Barfly, where Mickey Rourke is basically playing Bukowski. I
Yeah.
think in one of the scenes he like took a sip and like didn't finish it, and he's like, "That's bullshit. A drunk always finishes it."
There you go.
He's calling out. By the way, Mickey Rourke's probably like, "I know what a drunk does. I'm
Right.
struggling
Right.
here." Like clearly the
Yeah.
guy's got some baggage, you know. But
What happened to that guy? He was like the biggest. He was a great actor. He was like a
yeah,
huge A-lister hunk, like
yeah,
sexy guy out of the gate, like this James Deany kind of Brando quality.
so handsome.
So handsome, and then now he's like this weird ghoul plastic surgery nut.
Well, he was, I think a damaged guy, very like super handsome, great actor, and then was like, I want to be a boxer. You know,
Oh, I didn't
he
know
was
that.
he was like the Logan Paul of his day. He was like, I'll box. So
Wow.
so he would box people, and I think he could fight, but he's not like a fucking pro. So he
Right.
got his face pretty badly fucked up, and
Hmm.
got some plastic surgery, and I think that's when it begins. And I think that's why he looks how he does. I think he would have aged much better than.
Wow, that's fast. And it's also interesting that like he tried to get back in acting, but his face was fucked up. So his agent, when they got the wrestler, was like, "Finally, we got a gig for you where you can look like ass, and you look like you've been mangled. It's a perfect gig." That's a great agent.
It's a great movie.
Great movie. Great. There are a lot of comedy parallels in that one too.
Oh my God, right? When they're like, you see how they're like bonding the old wrestlers, you're like, oh shit, that's comedy. At the fucking autograph sign, and you're like, oh,
Yes.
that's comics like texting on Cameo. Like, are you on Cameo? You know,
Right.
whatever
Yeah,
stuff
and
they're doing.
they were comparing like I got 3 ribs broken, I broke my ankle. That's like us. Like I bombed here, I lost this Tonight Show gig, I fucked that one up, I lost that TV pilot, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Our
That
bar
is
scars are emotional.
that is like, do you ever like were some of your early jokes about drinking? You have so many drinking jokes.
Yeah, so many. You write what you know. And I secretly wanted to be like this romantic drunk comic, but I think you kind of grow out of that.
Yeah, well, you either got to live it or you got to grow out of it, because like the drinking comic is cool in their 20s, but then like you hit your 40s or 50s and you're like, this is a choice at this point.
Right, right.
This is who
yeah.
I am.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, no offense to Bert, but I that's got to be a bit of a monkey on your back. Like, all right, I got to get shit faced now, and I'm pushing 50, whatever. Like, that's tough.
Well, yeah,
I
I
worry
mean,
about the guy.
yeah, I mean, it's weird. He's super healthy in some ways.
I know, I know. He's
but
fucking. I went on a ski trip with the guy. He outskied all of us.
no, he's like an athlete. It's people laugh when I say he's an athlete. I'm like, no, he's like an athlete. He's like a big athletic guy, you know?
Totally. Like he would outski all of us, and then second day he was like, I'm gonna try to snowboard, and then he snowboarded better than all of us. And then Ari's a good skier. Ari's like, I'm gonna race you. Ari fell, broke his wrist. Bert just flew by him,
I
and then
just
he works
realized
out every day.
I just realized, by the way, I'm sipping a really expensive scotch out of a Syracuse Funny Bone cup.
Notoriously my least favorite club.
Oh, it's terrible. I'm banned from a lot of the clubs because of that. They
Really?
wouldn't work me. For what I mean, first off, I'm trash. I don't deserve this scotch, clearly. But no, this is, yeah, I did whatever. Like my agent called me. They're like, what did you do? They're furious, and I'm like, My act? I don't fucking like. I didn't do any. I didn't like melt. I know she's picturing I melted down on stage. Like fuck all of you. It's like first off, it's a mall in Syracuse. It's not like our ideal audience. Like we didn't get
No.
into this to fucking perform next to a Cinnabon and Spencer's Gifts. It's not like where comedy lives, you know.
Right. Yeah. It's
And
actually next to a Toby Keith's.
it,
That place was a soul crusher. The hotel was weird. The town sucks. The people suck. Oh man, I hated that weekend. And that's a real your opener is gonna do better than you weekend.
yeah.
Because my opener was always some hack. Shit, I'm trying to think if I know
I had
anybody
a
who
funny
opened
guy
it.
opening for me for sure.
Okay,
We
okay.
both. It was Brent Terhune, who's really
Oh,
funny.
he's great.
He's really funny. Yeah. We both like had ups and downs. So I mean, it was like, uh, I've heard stories about that club where they're just the wait staff was just talking so loud, which
Yes.
people don't get was driving us insane. Where the wait staff just talking so fucking loud, and I guess it was Ronan Hirschberg, our buddy, was featuring there, and Ali Sadiq was
Oh
on
yeah.
stage. Who every clip I see, the guy, he's funny as hell. I don't know him, but like
He's a killer and he sells out. He's great.
he's really funny. And Ronan said, like, he's just on stage, not huge crowds. He's having to talk over the wait staff that's being so loud. And he's just looking at them and he goes, I hope you motherfuckers know you're doing nothing for me. He just starts turning, not on the crowd, on the wait staff. And I'm like, oh my God. That's
Yeah.
like, that's like,
It's the weirdest thing because you're like, we're kind of on the same team here. We're both employed
I
by this
know.
club at the moment, and you're killing me, and they don't know, like, they have to do their job, but you're
But it's
also
not their
fucking me
fault.
up.
They're usually not, if that's the case, they're usually not properly trained for that.
Right.
They should know. But yeah, I mean, that's just not a good gig.
No, it's fascinating how like just the same material can kill in one city, and then you go 20 minutes over, like Buffalo, I do great, and then you go to Syracuse and they hate me.
Right. That's a great point. Buffalo's great. Syracuse, I did a good club there once. Um, but you know, the funny bone for some reason, I think they just paper it so no one pays for their tickets, so you get a lot of
Right.
those. And then because I didn't sell enough. And
Same.
then yeah, it was just one of the also like the highest suicide per capita, I think, in the United States. I could be wrong, but I think it's up there. I think it's like in the I know that there's a very high suicide rate.
Interesting. I could see it. I mean, it's just blistering cold. There's nothing to do. And then it's one of those towns where you go, what should I do here? And they all say the same thing, dinosaur barbecue. I'm like,
Yeah.
you got a barbecue joint? That's it? That's the height of
I know.
culture in this town? That and basketball, like their college ball is pretty big.
They got a cool college ball situation, but yeah, it's. And I should say, my comedy there did not do anything to help the high suicide rate. I think, but yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Dinosaur Barbecue. I know, like, I've been to the games there. It's pretty cool. The arena's pretty cool, and like they do recruit well because they're like, you get to play in front of a shitload of people. You're the only show in town, so I think
Right.
they recruit. But it's like, yeah, it's
You
not
want to you want to say that on stage. You want to go, hey, I know the suicide rate is high here, but it's mutual. I'm with you. I hate it. I want to kill myself here too. This is a nightmare
But you
gig.
can't, because even in the towns, you still can't shit on there. It's still where they live. They still have
Right.
like, that's the thing you got to respect is like, even if they don't like their hometown, there's still hometown pride.
Yes, exactly. It's like your mom or dad can beat the shit out of you, but they're still your mom and dad. So if I'm like, your dad's a fucking idiot, they're like, hey, he beats the shit out of me, but he's still my dad. Fuck you.
Exactly. And like, you can say your dad is shitty. He's your dad.
Right.
But if some stranger goes, you have a shitty dad, you're like, fuck you. My dad's not shitty. I'll fight you. That's us coming in saying, fuck Syracuse.
Yeah,
You can't
exactly.
say it. You got to go with the flow.
And they're like, oh, look at these city guys coming up here thinking they're hot shit. And you're like, no. We have low self-esteem as well. It just sucks here.
It's cold.
Yeah.
I should tell you what happened to me last night. I gave you
Yeah.
the bare details, but hospital, quick trip, I'm fine. Yeah, dude, fucking few stitches in my shin. It's completely my fault.
Yeah.
I was looking at here's how much I'm falling apart. I see a guy who he's like a specialist for your neck and shoulders. He's a massage therapist and he's really good. And I leave there and I'm like, all right, I'm in so much pain in my back. I'm in physical therapy for my neck right now. So I'm leaving. I'm walking home. I'm looking at my phone, spacing out, walking quickly, looking at my phone like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Pow! Right into a metal bench.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was
One of
it
the things.
like a bus stop bench? What kind of bench are we talking here?
No, it's like a metal. You know those like sharp ones that are just kind of hanging out. The sides are kind of sharp a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So I just walked into one of those, and a guy watched me do it and felt like rightfully zero sympathy for me because it's like he's like, I saw you looking at your phone. He's like, I
Oh
know you, and I'm like in my head, I'm like extra mad because I'm like, fuck, I deserve this. Like
yeah.
in my head, I'm thinking about like they're gonna fucking turn the machines are gonna turn against us. I'm like, they don't have to. They already have
Ah.
us. So I'm in
Wow.
pain. I'm like, fuck, the blood is just shooting down my leg. And
Ah.
I'm like kind of hobbling. There's an urgent care across the street. I kind of hobble into the urgent care, like, can I see someone? And the lady goes, we're closed.
Ah, jeez.
And I said,
What
well,
is
the
this, mom
lights
and
are on.
pop? Yeah.
Mom
What the
and pop.
fuck?
Yeah, we go.
That's
Mom and
crazy.
pop.
It's a hospital or it's a care place. We're closed. We
She
can't
said,
have you. We're
we don't
closed.
have everyone here. And I was like, then why are you guys just hanging out? Like, don't you just
Yeah.
leave? So I'm like pissed. I walk out, I hobble
Ugh.
out. I'm freaking out. I
That feels
start.
like McDonald's breakfast, by the way. It's like, oh, sorry, it's till after 11. We can't. But you got all the fucking patties and the eggs. Yeah, but it's after 11. That's
They're
brutal.
stickler for the
Sorry to cut you
rules,
off.
man. No, please. This is what this is. So I'm hobbling down the street. A guy sees me bent over with blood kind of just shooting down my leg. So he goes, "Are you okay?" I go, I'm hurting a little bit. Yeah. And great guy, fucking New Yorkers, man. He goes, "Let me help you get a cab. Go to the hospital." I said, "All right." Get in the cab. I'm in the hospital or in the cab going to the hospital, and immediately the driver, I just say, "Hey, can you take me to the hospital?" He starts driving the wrong way. I'm like, "Hey, man, there's one like 10 blocks from here. Just go to that one." And he goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay." And I'm like, "I'm glad I'm from here." Then
Yeah.
he goes, "Hospital? Like what happened?" I said, "Oh, my leg's pretty bloody." And he goes, "Are you getting blood in my car?" I'm like, "Nah,
Ah.
it's in my pants." And he goes, "Okay, good." I'm like, "Fuck you."
Ah. Jesus Christ.
The classic New
Classic.
York thing. And then I could tell he felt bad. He goes, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right." So I walk in, I go through, they have, they got the little, it's like an airport now. You got to go through a metal
Right.
detector to get in the hospital. So I go in.
Is it
And
COVID crazy? Is it just buzzing?
it wasn't horrible. There's a few people in there. I mean, it's a mess. I mean, it's not a good place to work. So I walk
Yeah.
in and I'm sitting there waiting for them to call me. And I'm like bleeding a lot. So at a certain point, I'm just like, hey, I just want to make sure this isn't serious. Can someone just see me? And if it's not serious, I'll happily wait in another room, whatever. And the woman goes, "All right, let's like, what is it?"
Mm.
I'm like, what is this, the fucking DMV or the hospital? Like, what's
I
going
know,
on here?
right?
So
Yeah.
she's giving me shit, and I just said, "Here's my name." Going through my name. What's your name? I go, "Sam Morril," and she goes, "All right, is that the name on your driver's license?" And I said, "It's Samuel on the driver's license." And she goes, "Then why didn't you tell me that? Why you give me nicknames?" And I was like, "I'm bleeding a lot. I'm not fucking with you. Like, what do you think I'm doing?"
Wow. This
Like
is hilarious.
she's hitting me with the sass, and I was like, "All right,
Yeah.
lady, shit." So finally, I just go, "This is my info. Please just let me know when I'm ready." And I'm bleeding a lot. She looks at me like, like doesn't give a shit at all. And I'm like, "All right." I mean, like,
It's
I get that you've seen worse today. Don't get me
right,
wrong,
right. But
but
still, it's ironic that they call these places in New York care because nobody cares. That's the last thing, you know? Like, we care about you. You don't give a shit about me. So don't call it care. It's called urgent care. Come on, help me out.
more like urgent apathy. Am I right? All right. So I'm just sitting there waiting. Some guy walks in. This old guy walks in. He's high as shit, like off his ass high, reeking of weed. And it's like, honestly, the only thing that's making me smile a little bit is this old man is high as fuck. So he's there. A woman and her husband walk in, and she goes, "Please, my husband's having a horrible allergic reaction. He needs to be seen." And the high guy goes, "Come right in, come right in." And the guy goes,
Ah.
"No, he's got to go through security still." So the high guy goes, "No, no, no, you're fine." He's like going at the guy, and I'm just like, "Ah, this is a fucking shit show." So I'm just finally, they see me. I'm in there for a couple hours, but they stitch me up. I'm fine, you know.
Yeah.
But God
Wow.
damn, unbelievable. So, and also I told the guy, I'm like, "Look, I get this isn't the top of your list. You've seen some real shit. It's a Saturday in the ER. You've seen worse shit
Sure.
than something that needs 4 stitches, but like, it is on the shin. It does hurt a little bit." And he's like, "No, and I said, 'Did I overreact coming here?" He said, "No, you absolutely should have come in." I was like, "All right." So I'm
All
not a
right,
huge
but
pussy.
for a couple things, the shin, I was a skateboarder. I fucked my shins up. If you put your hand down my shin, it feels like it's like rigid. It's like was serrated. And
Yeah.
so the shin is the worst pain. And secondly, it sucks you got no story. You know, what happened? Did you kick open a manhole and help a lady or whatever it is? Did you get hit by a
Yes.
car? Yeah, the phone. That sucks.
Well, I mean, the no story is kind of the story, though. At the end of the day,
That's
right?
true.
I mean, the no story, the fact that I'm fucking incompetent is I guess the story, unfortunately now. But yeah, it's a bummer. Like,
Maybe you can use it like, oh, I was looking at my phone. I was plugging my new special, you know, or something like that. It's just somehow you can get something out of it.
yeah, yeah, it's fucking annoying. I'm annoyed that this is how it happened, but then you're just like, thank God it wasn't worse. You know, you're just like,
Yeah,
there's something
true.
there. I'll crack it. I'll get some bit out of it. The idea,
Definitely.
the funny thing is like New Yorkers are just such fucking trash unless it's an emergency. They're just really like garbage, and then like they're like, oh shit, this guy's hobbling, I'll help. But like
Right.
any other time, they're like, go fuck yourself. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
we'll crack it at some point.
At least, you know, in New York, you got the high guy, you got the cabbie guy who's funny, you got the sassy nurse. It's like a little adventure everywhere you
It
go. So you
is.
get that fun part of like it's entertaining at least.
Every New York, it does feel like you get like a taste of After Hours, that Scorsese movie, you know?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. There's all these characters. Like somebody had to cast that sassy nurse. It feels like, you know, but it's just real.
Do you ever go to the? When's the last time you went to the ER?
I'm a big avoid the hospital guy. Like two things I never do is call the cops and go to the hospital. I don't want to involve them. Like the civil service workers scare me for some reason because it's just
Mm.
too. Anytime that's going down, it's never good. So like I like to just avoid all that shit. But I tore my sack open in college
Oh
and
my
I had to go to
God.
the ER and it was a
What
nightmare.
what was his name?
It was rough. I got into a fist fight at a party in college in the
Oh my
backyard, and
God.
I was losing the fight, so I jumped over the fence in a moment of cowardice. And the
Oh,
fence had like spikes up top, like it was a black wrought iron fence.
oh
And I
man.
caught the sack on the leg over, like on the straddle, and I tore the sack, and I had to run. I remember I was dangling by my jeans, and they all were laughing. I was on the other side of the fence, hanging there. They're like, "Look at this fucking idiot!" You know.
Oh,
Eventually
dude.
gave way. I ran home, went to the hospital, but they had to sew it up in front of me. It was a nightmare.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
You
and
got
just
your sack ripped up by being a coward. That
yeah,
sucks.
yeah. I mean, in my defense, I hung in the fight for as long as I could, but I was losing so bad, and I had to get out of there. But man, it was like out of a movie. I got a big needle in my sack. The guy's asking me
Oh,
about he's like, hey, you like the Tigers? What are you, Saints guy? And he's like stitching me up. And
the
then the hot
Tigers.
nurse
Oh,
comes in and
LSU?
puts LSU, yeah.
Yeah.
The hot nurse comes in and she's putting Neosporin on my freshly sewn up scrotum.
Oh,
And I got the acorn dick. It's cold in
of
there.
course.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
nightmare.
Oh, fuck.
Had to wear a jockstrap for 2 months.
It's hilarious that we get like because I think that's a common male thing is that if you get like shrinkage before a testicular exam or something, you're in your head like the fucking like the doctor's going to the next room like we got a tiny one in fucking room 5. Like I don't know why that's so but like every guy if we're not at our fucking best penis
Yeah, but
wise, I don't know why we do that.
in their defense, though, wouldn't I would do that? I'd be like, "Geez, we got a real frightened turtle in 4B."
Are they leaving the other rooms? Like you should try to get a second look. I mean, this is fucking special. Like we should misdiagnose it just to get a second peek, you know?
Exactly. That's what I would do. So I assume they're doing that. And she was like 25. She was young, and she's probably like,
Yeah.
"Jesus, guys, poor thing he can't pleasure a woman with that thing."
It is funny too that like the idea that like what do you say when a guy will fight? You say he's got balls. Right?
Oh, interesting.
You literally didn't have balls after you ran away to the balls. Your balls got shredded
Yeah, they got shredded. You're right.
on a
And
fence.
here's the craziest part. I went to bed. I passed out at home.
Yeah.
Woke up. Went to work because you're still drunk. You just get up and you go. And I was a waiter at the time, and I was like, God, my balls are stinging. My sack. And I went to the bathroom, and it was torn open. I didn't even know
Oh,
it because I blacked out. And I saw a ball.
that's fucking gross.
It looks like a peach pit. It was wild. I panicked and I just ran to the hospital. Crazy. College. You went to Tulane. You probably had some wild drunk nights.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that roofie story is from the Deke house.
Oh, I know it on
Yeah,
Broadway.
sure. Yeah, yeah. A lot of drunken nights there. Definitely. I mean, New Orleans is a wild, wild city. That is.
It really is.
It's like a dangerous town. I mean, I do remember. Shit. I mean, you must have seen so many. How many Mardi Gras have you been there for? Like almost. Like when's the first Mardi Gras you went to?
Oh, I mean, I was a baby. There's pictures of me on my dad's shoulders, at like 4, catching beads and shit. I remember seeing like boobs, in the French Quarter at Mardi Gras, all that shit.
You
So
throw,
it,
you throw beads at another 4-year-old. You're like, show me your tits.
yeah, exactly. Just a flat little girl, but yeah, show me your diaper. But yeah, it's just part of the culture. It's like,
Yeah,
it's like going to
special.
Little Italy.
It's like I always say New Orleans in the U.S. is like it's like what Montreal is to Canada, where it's like
Oh yeah,
it's got that like kind of French influence, but then also it's just there's nothing like it
right.
in America. It could be like not part of our country and it'd be like, oh yeah, that makes sense, you know?
Yeah, yeah. If Montreal was molested young, because obviously we got so many more, issues and
Sure.
vices here. We got the prostitution and the strip clubs
Or
and the
corrupt
booze.
politicians. I mean, it's like it is a classic. Like, I want to know more about yours. There's no politician there. Like, you just picture every governor out of Louisiana, like every fucking mayor in New Orleans to be playing like at some shady poker game at 4 a.m.
Yeah, yeah, biting a cigar, whiskey. But when Katrina happened, all these like what do you call it, televangelists and like religious people are like, that was God trying to teach you guys. You guys are so gross and dirty. It was God trying to wash you of your sins. And we're like,
Yes.
shut up, you fucking pussy.
The same. Oh, dude, televangelists. Like, I don't know how the fuck they sleep at night. It's such a. Remember Joel Osteen was like the whole thing. Like, you need to love thy neighbor. You got to take care of people. And it was like the flood in Houston. He was like, get the fuck out of my church. Get out of here.
Yeah, he's like, we just did the carpets. Get the fuck out of here. I know. I don't even blame those guys because they're obviously like just grifters and
Yeah, totally.
shit like that. But like these people fall for that shit. I guess everybody just needs something to follow.
It's also like you get to a point like Joel Osteen where you've been rich too long that you're like, yeah, you can't be. You got to like get weeded out at a certain point. If
Right.
you're playing arenas as a televangelist, you're horrible. You're full of shit. You know?
I know. You've lied to so many people that you've bought a fucking dome. Like that's got to be the cap. You're done.
If you're all about God and you're driving better than a Mercedes, some shit shady going on, right? If you're all about like fuck material possessions, I'm like, all right, but let me see your home. I want to see what
Right.
your home looks like. I want to see you practice what you preach a little bit, you know?
Yes, exactly. I don't get how anyone could fall for them. And then you ever watch those guys? Like sometimes I'll
Yeah.
I'm flipping through, I'll leave it on, and it's just horrifying. If I saw that, I think I followed one of them at the Syracuse Funny Bone. But they're just like, oh God, they do all these big act outs, and
Yeah.
it's so creepy.
Fucking, it can never follow an act out. It's always
No,
that's
can't do it.
fucking that's Barry Central. So, tell me some shit. Like, what's something you're enjoying in this? Like, is there any shows, any just life things, any movies? What are you doing, man?
Well, I want to try to, because everybody recommends the same things. You got to watch this, you got to see this, you got to see
Sure.
that. So I try to go outside the box. By the way, I'm 6 episodes into The Crown, loving it. That was
Really?
you. Yeah,
Oh,
me and the
it's-
lady watch it. We love it.
It's a good with the girlfriend show because it's like it's got the historical factor. I like shows that you're like, did this fucking really happen? And sends you to Google too. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, how great is the slimy brother guy who's like got abdicated?
Yes. Oh my God. Fucking Nazi
great.
bastard. Yeah.
So, and apparently, obviously, we just like you said, we Googled. He wrote a lot of those letters. Those are real.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Scumbag, dude.
Scumbag,
worst.
and he's such a slithering, slimy weasel, and it's so fun, and just the power dynamics and the optics and all that. It all registers today.
It's so funny to be like, look, what was I gonna do? Burn a bridge with Hitler? And you're like, yes, that's what you do. You gotta burn the Hitler bridge. Come on.
Exactly. But he's Kim Jong Il now. You're like, I don't know if I want to piss off this flat-headed twink. But yeah, it's funny. We're all humans. It just keeps repeating, like just human nature.
Speaking of Kim Jong Il, remember Kim Jong Un? Geraldo had a bit where he goes, "How short do you have to be to have a Napoleon complex in North Korea?" I was like,
What a fucking line.
"Fuck!" One liner where you just are like, "Bam!"
Damn.
Yes.
And that's a smart foreign policy joke that everybody can get.
Totally. Yeah, he's a beast. So you're The Crown is what you're into right now?
No, Crown. Too many people already like The Crown. People know about The Crown. So I went a little more obscure. Salacuse, our mutual pal, director of your new special, and photographer friend extraordinaire.
He's photographed everyone from Rihanna to Noah Baumbach to anyone you could think of. Just amazing eye. Yeah, he's a beast.
He's got everybody. He recommended we share I don't know. I don't want to get too candid here, but we share. He got me hooked up on a fake cable service.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Not fake, but
he told
shady.
Me. Yeah.
I love it. It's great. It's janky. It's shady. It's weird. It's under the table, but I love it. It feels like the '90s again, where I got remember when the kids had the box?
Yeah. Kazaa,
like that.
LimeWire.
Yeah, it's all that shit.
Remember, like that's what we'll tell our grandkids. Like, you get to stream porn. We had to download the whole thing before we watched it. That's.
Well, I used to print porn. I had to wait for it to go. Zzz.
Oh, dude, I ran a porn magazine in 6th grade.
What?
Yeah, my friend and I ran. We called it Play Amigo. His dad had a color printer, so we were like, why don't we just print out a nude it was just like Baywatch, like Donna D'Errico's naked. Let's use that one.
Oh, yeah.
And it would just be like Play Amigo, and it would just be a few pages. And I remember I had a great teacher. He passed away not too long ago, Mr. Jones. Old gay man, was such a good guy, such a good teacher. And I remember he busted me with Play Amigo. I was trying to sell it in the bathroom, and he caught me. And he goes, "I'll just tell the principal they were Sears catalogs if anyone asks."
Ah, that's great.
Great guy.
So you would bind them and print them and sell them?
Staple them. Bind is very bare bones here.
True, but I feel like you're losing more money on printer ink.
Well, it was his dad's printer, so that was our scheme.
That's on you, pops. Dad's like, I'm just trying to print out my fucking flight itinerary here. all the pink is gone from all the gash.
He's like, yeah, I was trying to get a flight to Dallas. Well, why are Yasmin Bleeth's tits in my printer?
Yeah. I know the Delta guy's like, Jesus, nice ticket. All right, so. Yeah. Documentary from the 80s, early 80s.
Wow. Okay.
Unbelievable. Never heard of it. It's called Streetwise.
Wow.
Some guy was a photographer, and he was shooting photos for a magazine like Newsweek of all these homeless teenagers in Seattle. And he got to know them. It was so like interesting and enthralling that he made it into a documentary and like came back and shot them with, video cameras. And it's so cool. It's so good. You got to watch it.
I'll put it in the queue, man. Streetwise. Is it on a service, or do I have to get hooked up to your illegal setup that you guys have?
You might have to go illegal, but I bet iTunes would have it if you have any of that, or maybe Amazon.
Streetwise.
But it is, it's like raw. It's like the movie Kids, but real.
Ooh, okay. Interesting.
Real shit. I mean, the girl is a prostitute. She's 14. She's got all these STDs. She keeps having abortions. The one kid's in like a street gang. He's like getting cut up with knives. I mean, it's fucking... Damn. These are like white Seattle Pacific Northwest kids. It's fucking fascinating.
Damn.
It's great. And it's so 80s too. The way they're dressed, the cars, there's no phones, there's no internet obviously, and it's pretty great.
I love a good doc. You know it's an 80s classic doc that I'd never seen until recently have you heard of The Thin Blue Line?
I have. It's won all these awards. Everybody raves about that movie.
I'm pissed that I can't remember the guy's name who made it. Oh, God, he's super famous.
Give it a goog.
The Thin Blue. It's so good, man.
Yeah, that's like a staple.
Yeah, Errol Morris. How the fuck did I forget? Yeah, it's so good. I mean, dude, crazy good. Crazy. Yeah. It takes a minute.
It takes a minute.
Some older docs, man. like we realize, even with older, you ever just watch an older movie now and you're like, oh, this is like embarrassing what's been done to my attention span.
Ah,
You try
dude.
to watch like Taxi Driver now and you're like, oh, he fucking took his time. That's what he's doing.
Right, right. And it's okay. It's like fleshed out and pretty and visual,
Totally.
but we don't give a shit. We just
No,
got
no,
to get
no.
to it.
I'm saying we're the problem. It's
Oh
not.
yeah, I agree.
I'm not blaming Scorsese. Movies were like an experience, even in the
Yes.
'70s. So you'd go to the theater and you'd be like, "Oh, this is what I want to experience." This, and now we're like, "All right, fucking get to it." And
Yeah.
it's a bummer that that's what it is, but that is what it is now.
And everything is going to be that. And if we want to sell a show, we have to adapt too. So that's
Totally.
just, I mean, even like the intro to like a sitcom, like was 3 minutes or 2 minutes back in the day. Now it's just like, bum bum, we're in. Boom.
Or you have the option to skip one or the other.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like
exactly.
I try so when I find myself skipping like the 30 Rock intro, I was like, "All right, dude, give it. It's 10 seconds.
It's
You can
10
handle this."
seconds. Her husband wrote that, by the way.
So good, dude.
Yeah.
You watch the scenes in that movie and or in that show, and you're just like, oh, every scene musically is insane. It
It's
adds to how funny it is.
so funny. The joke, it's a joke a second.
Yeah.
I was watching it the other day, and there's a black gay guy, and Tina Fey is getting in trouble for like not being PC enough. And
Yeah.
she's like, well, you got to ask Twofer. And the guy's like, what? Twofer? And she's like, oh, he's a twofer. He's black and gay. That's 2 for 1. And they were
Yeah.
like, you're out. I was like,
I remember
Twofer.
that.
Come
So
on.
good, dude. Yeah, it's like, it's crazy. You see what was on NBC just like, what, 12 years ago, or whatever, and you're like, oh shit, they're moving the goalpost in. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
Uh,
And I get hope because I'm like, Tina Fey's clearly a super smart, good, decent human being. And she's making these crazy offensive jokes. So you're like, oh, okay, I'm not evil.
Where do you rank that show? Like, is that in your top 5 comedies ever for sitcoms or no?
It's up there. I mean, the
Yeah.
problem is every now and then you'll watch one, you're like, this whole episode is kind of a dud.
What? But that's like a later season, I think. I
That's
think
true.
early seasons are pretty. What's your top 5? Not
Well, I
in order,
mean,
just top 5 straight up comedies.
I mean, I love Seinfeld. I think Frasier's underrated.
It's great.
Uh,
Kelsey
I like
Grammer's a fucking beast too. It's
Killer.
like I saw David Hyde Pierce in the subway like a year ago, and I was like, "Fuck, David Hyde Pierce!" It made me happy to see him.
Whoa.
Just
Yeah,
in
he's
just in a
great.
little hat, looking fucking just like, like he's
Yeah.
hiding.
That's killer. A lot of people like Cheers and Raymond. I wasn't too into them.
Cheers is great. Raymond, I like all the actors. Shit,
Same.
man. But like,
Too family, too much heart.
it's not even the heart. It's the other thing of like with like where the husband is just so pussy whipped that I'm just like, this just looks miserable. Like she just it just felt like she's always mad at him. Like
Right, right.
like it's like that movie. You ever see that movie The Breakup with Vince Vaughn and
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston, where I'm like, yeah, this is realistic to a point where like that's why it's like I'm almost not enjoying this. It's not like it's like kind of half escapist and half like they nailed what a breakup feels like. And I was like, that's kind of why I'm like, this is tough to watch
Yeah.
it was billed as a comedy. I was expecting a comedy. And then you go in, you're like, well, this isn't a bad movie, but it's just like fucking a downer. It's two people's who like clearly love each other's relationship just falling apart.
Right, right. It's pretty heavy. Well, what's another good comedy? I mean, obviously you got South Park and Family
Yeah.
Guy. That's all. I love Curb.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's so many. Then there's Arrested Development, and there's Parks and
Yes.
Rec is okay. Yeah, well, it's too many. Why? What do you
Too
think?
many. No, I mean, Simpsons is in mine for sure. You
Oh,
nailed a lot of
jeez.
them.
That's
Like,
top 3.
I think like top seasons like 1 through 8 or like all. I'd even go like 9 or 10 maybe, or like 1 through 8 though. It's the best thing I've ever seen probably.
Most
But
people won't go that late.
8, I think they'll go 8.
All right, all right.
I think 8 is a great season. I just I love Simpsons. I love I mean Larry Sanders is in the mix for me.
Oh, another great one.
Love
Another
it.
great one.
30 Rock kills me for sure.
Yeah.
British and American Office I like a lot both.
Oh yeah, love both. Love the British one. Yeah.
I love Gervais, man. I love
I do
Extras
too.
cracks me up too. I think Gervais is awesome.
Yeah, he follows me on Twitter. and
Oh
he'll-
shit.
Yeah, I don't know how he got my shit or whatever, but he'll like stuff every now and then, and it means the world to me.
That's a biggie though. That's cool.
Yeah, he loves jokes, and we just tweet jokes, and I think he digs that.
Yeah, man, jokes. I mean, speaking of, anything you're working on? Anything
Well,
you want
wait,
to
you
throw
didn't say
out?
you're. What are you recommending?
Oh, for a show. Okay. Okay, I watched an old movie I'd never seen that I really liked. We're throwing out obscure shit, so why not? I love old noir. Like my favorite movies are probably just for like language. I go like 40s, 50s film noir. I love.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, someone will throw one at me that I haven't seen, and I watched. And I think it's one of Kubrick's first movies, if not one of his like earliest. Is this movie called The Killers?
Hmm.
It's a
Never heard of it.
great heist movie. The dialogue is so fucking funny. Like it's
Really?
just a killer script. And Sterling Hayden from Doctor Strangelove is one of the leads in it. Uh, it's great.
All right.
There's a guy who's like pussy whipped out of the gate, and he's talking about doing the heist, and his wife is cheating on him. She wants nothing to do with him, and he goes, so I saw this woman, she was about 35. He's going a long time with this story. She goes, she was 35 when the story started. How old is she now? Like lines like that where you're like, oh, I love it. I love it. There's also a line where he says to this woman, she's spying on their heist, and he goes, baby, you better tell me what I want to hear. I'm gonna smash your face in a hamburger meat. Like it's just like this really was the 50s. Holy shit.
Wow. Man, I've never heard of this. And
Oh, it's
Kubrick,
killer.
I
It's
mean,
killer.
Strangelove has got some great lines in it, and
So fucking funny.
I'll check it out. I can't believe I'm embarrassed. I've never heard that. And he's a Bronx guy.
Who, Kubrick is?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm obsessed with anyone from New York because I just picture their whole upbringing. Bronx
Yeah.
Jew.
Yeah, Kubrick's great, man.
Oh yeah. Strangelove is a great comedy.
Yeah, certain parts don't hold up, but then other
Right.
parts you're like, fuck, this is I mean, I know people probably trash me for even saying certain parts don't hold up, but like, yeah, I love so many. I mean, fucking what's his name? The main guy who's doing multiple roles in that. Again, I'm just so
Clouseau, not Clouseau. What's his fucking name? Jesus.
Peter
Sellers.
fuck.
Yeah.
I'm a step slow tonight. I know these people's names. I've had a couple drinks, but
Same.
yeah, dude, I love him. Tell me a
All
bit
right.
you're working on.
Killers. I got to remember that. So I
Killers
wanna
is
watch
good.
that.
Dude, I love noir. I love like
Yeah.
one of my other favorites is I mean, I like this one. If you haven't seen Out of the Past with Robert Mitchum,
No.
that might be like my number one film noir. It's fucking
Really?
it's perfect.
All right.
Mitchum just fucking ruled. That was like a real
Man.
that was a real manly dude. They also did a remake of Farewell My Lovely where he plays the lead, and I just anytime Mitchum, I'm just like, oh, that's a real dude. He's awesome.
All right. I'm in.
Out of the past, it's just classic noir. A guy who tried to walk away from the game and it catches up with him. Young Kirk Douglas is in it. He's great. It's awesome.
All right. See,
Killer dialogue.
this fucking ripped illegal channel I will have all that.
I know. I've been to Salacuse's place and we've watched it on it, and he's like, why don't we see what Pacino movies are on right now? And it's like Dog Day Afternoon, Scarface, The Godfather. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
It's got you could watch like a fucking Jerry Lewis roast from 1954, and then you can watch the Killers. Or
Well,
Streetwise.
Killers is a lot of fun. You'll get a kick for sure. I mean, those old noirs are just like, they're just fun.
What was the other one you said? The Mitchum?
Out of the Past is like,
Out of the
that's
Past.
one of my all timers for like a perfect noir. So good.
All right. Now, I got some bits here, but obviously we can't get up as much, and I should be writing more. So these are so raw. I mean, this is so half-baked.
I got only trash. So
Okay, great.
Come at me, dude.
Maybe we should do a couple I might have to redeem myself. Some are so bad.
Oh, dude, I got nothing.
All right. Here we go. I'll try to do some because I throw most of them at you, so I'll try to do some you haven't seen or heard yet. So I want to do a bit about how the robe, and it's perfect because you're wearing one. The robe has so much range, more than any other clothing item, because it can be a Supreme Court judge, a boxer, an insane asylum victim, a divorced dad getting the paper, like a pope. The robe, it can go from pope to guy going to an orgy.
I love that. You're either a deadbeat or on the Supreme Court.
Exactly.
That's
The
great.
robe is amazing, and I feel like you could just go so many ways. Like Hefner wore a robe, but so does Tony Soprano when he's getting the paper.
Yes.
It's got so much range.
Yeah, it's either like I worked my entire life to hold a gavel,
Yeah.
or I'm a bum and I don't feel like getting dressed.
Right.
Like there's no, you're right. There's like no, like the Pope, like that guy. It's a different type of robe,
Sure.
you know, because it comes with a fucking hat. You can't just wear the robe and not the hat.
Right, right. Even
Like
like the Grand Wizard is kind of wearing a robe.
that's true.
So you got the Supreme Court, the most justice guy ever, versus the fucking most evil guy ever.
Yeah, it's interesting, and it's like I guess it depends on if it comes with other accessories. Like
Aha.
if it comes with a gavel, Supreme Court, right, or judge or whatever.
Right.
If you're if you're the Pope, it comes with a hat.
Yeah.
If you're a KKK, it comes with a hood. If you're
Right.
a deadbeat, it comes with a remote.
Hey,
Maybe
that's great.
It's like not, or maybe something like that. I don't know.
I like that. I like that. That's a good way to go with it. And also, to me, the judge is the most fun robe guy because you call him Your Honor. He's like this prestigious guy. We have to like kiss his ass, Your Honor, yes sir, no sir. You will address the court, blah blah blah. You know, he's in control, and you have to wear a suit in court.
Ooh.
You got to wear a suit, and you got to blow the guy who figured out how to wear a robe, and you know he's bigger than you and better than you, and you're in the suit, and he's in a robe at work.
That's interesting. Yeah, like a guy in a robe telling a guy in a suit, silence.
Yes.
Order in the court.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, like although I guess that would happen with Tony. Someone else shows up in a suit. He's there in his robe, like shut the fuck up.
Right.
Like,
You're right.
the robe is kind of maybe the angle is that the robe is a symbol of power because
It is.
you're either in charge or you have so little going on that you've got power.
Right, right. Like your divorced wife comes over, like you're in a robe. It's fucking noon. You're not having a job, and he's like, I know, but I get to wear whatever I want because I'm out of your fucking life. That's why I'm wearing a robe.
That's it. Even if you're in a hotel and you're wearing a robe, you're not answering anyone. You're ordering room service. You're jacking off. Things are going pretty well.
There it is.
I
It's
think
all about
that
the power.
The robe is all about power.
That's great. Even if you're unemployed, that was your choice. No one's telling you what to do. You're in a robe.
Yeah, I don't feel like a lot of guys in robes are like actively searching for a job.
No, exactly. Yeah.
I don't think anyone in a robe is like, fuck, let me get my resume in order here. No, I think you're all right.
Right. Like my dad wore a robe around the house. By the way, no underwear. It was terrifying. But if he was in the robe, he wasn't helping us. Like I was like, Dad, I need to ride to Billy's house. And he's like, I'm in a robe. And you're like, oh yeah.
I'm in a robe.
Touche.
I'm in a robe.
So it was powerful.
I'm in a robe is clean. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And if you, how about the flasher? Just woo, that's power. You can clear a whole subway car with that.
Although if you're a flasher, you quickly lose the power.
Right.
Because your accessory quickly becomes handcuffs.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know where to go with that. But the flasher, like in the moment, I think in the moment the robe is power.
That's gold. Power, baby. It's all about power. Supreme Court, deadbeat dead.
There's something there for sure. I think that's worth. Fuck, it's hard to not get to try bits enough, man. I miss it.
I know.
We're junkies. We're like fucking heroin addicts who are like, guess I'm clean now and I should feel good, but I just missed the heroin.
Well, that's what Zoom is. Zoom is the methadone. It gives you just that little bit of hit that keeps you going.
I'm down to do. I'm gonna do. And people shit on Zoom shows, and like I don't like them, but I'll take them over like a drive-through show. I'd rather like at least feel a laugh.
I agree, and you don't have to leave. And man, those drive-through shows, the honking, the lights, it's
not a hell gig.
It's not helping me. I mean, if you do really well, you get the wipers. All right, what do you got?
I had this idea. So like on, Sesame Street is always like ahead of their time kind of. And like, they try to teach kids, like you look at it, even like in the 80s, they're like doing shit like, well, this is a drag queen. Like they're they're trying to show kids to be respectful of people who are different. Clearly a very progressive stance always. So like they had one recently where they're like, can you imagine how difficult it would be to leave your home? And the other puppet is like, well, I would never want to leave Sesame Street, but it's just about immigrants and how hard it is for them to leave their home.
Ah.
So they're like, we should be nicer to people coming to our country because leaving home is hard. But it's just about immigrants. So I was like, I wish they would take on other issues like Grover, when does a human life really start? And you're like,
Uh,
well, you like that your mommy carried her pregnancy to term, don't you? And like, you like that she didn't throw you in an Oscar the Grouch's little garbage can and get rid of you, or
right.
something like.
Right. Like, how far are we gonna go, and how uncomfortable are we gonna make it for these kids trying to be progressive?
I'd also love if they just like went the other way, where they're like, Sesame Street's a pretty safe neighborhood, isn't it? Like, aren't you glad that like violent puppets don't move here?
Right. Yeah.
Ones that weren't born here. I don't know, something like.
Well, there's also something with the beginning part. Like, it's hard for some people to leave the house, and it's. I thought you were going to talk about depression.
Oh,
Like, I love the idea of a depressed puppet. Like, Big Bird's like, I guess we had Snuffleupagus, but that's Dave Chappelle's bit. But
yeah.
I just love the idea of Big Bird. Like, yeah, I don't want to be here all the time, but I suck it up and I get it together. I took a shot of brandy and I leave the house. But that's great.
It's also like it's funny because kids shows try to explain really complex and nuanced things to kids, and it's kind of admirable, but also it's fucking weird. Like Mr. Rogers would talk about like, well, I feel sad sometimes.
Right.
Like, oh, you talking? Also, like, it is funny that you're trying to just reach like depressed. Like, what kid is like super depressed? Like,
Well,
you either don't know you're depressed yet because you're too young to like put that together, or it's also fucked up if you don't know when you're watching and you're just like, fuck, I'm depressed.
right. Yeah, maybe a kid should know about depression because then he can know he has it. Also, my mom, I used to watch Mr. Rogers. I loved it as a kid, and they had a big episode about death. Like, some kid's mom dies or whatever, so they have an episode about it, which is great and thoughtful and all that for that kid. But my mom was alive, so I was like, this show sucks. I don't care about this ep. This is doing nothing for me.
Oh, you ever just like rewatching a show and you're like skip like shit, like I was just rewatching Sopranos. I'm like, gotta skip the rape episode. I don't want to see this shit. Like it's like Mr. Rogers, like, I wasn't ready. We're not all ready for this shit.
Exactly. I know it's progressive and we're moving forward and it's helpful, but like, not everybody's going through it. So what about those kids? Now you're just forcing sadness onto me instead of helping me go through it with therapeutic.
You're good.
Oh shit, I had another. Oh, this could be a funny angle on that too, with like the immigrant thing.
Yeah.
What if there's the one kid whose dad is pumping the kid full of shit, so now the kid's fighting back with?
What do you mean?
Like if let's say Big Bird is like, if some people want to move here and it's hard for them, we should treat them fairly and respectfully, and the kid's like, yeah, but they're taking our jobs. And my uncle used to work at the mill, and then some Mexican guy came in, and Big Bird's like, whoa. This is not how I thought this was going to go, And or they're talking about trans, and he's like, gender is a construct, Billy. You got to remember that. He's like, but I thought the future was female. Like, it's just some 5-year-old kid pushing back, just genuinely.
Yeah, I also love the idea if they just like, as Big Bird's talking him out of it, some Spanish Big Bird with a mustache, like it's like oh, vamos, it's me,
right?
Ahora es me.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm out of here. My Spanish.
Big Bird. Everything he said, he takes it all back. He's like, fuck this shit. I've been working here 20 years.
You're gonna let this fucking piece of shit come in here? All of a sudden, his voice changes.
What is he? He's making less than me, isn't he? Yeah, he's taking a pay cut. That's what it is. Oh, that's funny.
What else you got?
I got a bunch. How about this? So I'll watch UFC or boxing, and my girlfriend is like, man, I don't know how you watch this shit. Like, look what these people are doing to each other. It's so evil and like inhumane. The pain and the physical pain they're putting on people. And I'm like, yeah, but you watch 90 Day Fiance and all this, and I'm like, Bachelorette, like, that's a different kind of pain. So we both came to the conclusion, like, well, they signed up, they know what they're getting into. But it's funny how like men will watch, and I'm doing a men and women here thing, but men will watch physical pain, but women will never watch physical pain, but they'll watch emotional pain. Right. To me, this guy moving to America from Nepal or Tibet or whatever the fuck, and trying to fuck some fat old white lady, and he's screwing her over. I'm like, this is way
darker.
More.
I love that.
Yeah, way darker.
Way darker. It's also funny how women are like, like, you watch The Wire? It's so upsetting. I'm like, you watch Handmaid's Tale. What do you
Exactly.
They're both upsetting. We're dealing with different things here. But yeah,
Right.
I totally get what you're saying, how like emotional manipulation to me is darker than
Yes.
like a knockout punch sucks, but guess what? That guy trained his whole life. He can take a punch. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And he'll wake up
This
and think,
woman may never bounce back.
exactly. Exact. To me, this is way darker, way
Yeah.
more harsh. And she couldn't see that. She was just like, well, you live, you learn, whatever. And by the way, there's way more crying on these reality shows than there is in the octagon.
You live and
You
you
know?
learn. She fucking told her mom about this guy.
Yes.
Like she
Yes.
thought this was gonna work out.
She has a tiny daughter who's like 6 going, is Ricardo my new dad? And Ricardo left with the Beamer.
It's rough. 90 Day Fiance bums me out, man.
Oh, crushes me. And it's like
I get why people love it, but it bums me out.
sure. It's like fucking candy. It's like so easily digestible, but this poor guy is like some dopey dweeby guy is getting rooked by some chick in Russia who's just like scamming him from all this money. He's like, she loves me. I'm like, oh God, it's way
like
worse.
it's like this Nigerian email scam where a person every episode,
Yes,
and you're like, this is
exactly.
uplifting for you.
Right, yeah. And she's like, but look at these two. They're wrestling, and he's bending his arm back. I'm like, that arm doesn't have feelings. Like it'll go back in the socket, and everything's fine. This is way meaner.
Yeah, it's like weird. I'm not a huge UFC guy or MMA guy, and I think it's mostly because I just don't know a ton about it. I remember I watched a fight with Lewis and Dave once, and I got into it because they both know so much about it that I was
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, this is cool. I mean, all I need is someone to like show me the way. And
Right.
I'm just so into basketball that it consumes me. I'm so
Yeah.
obsessed with it, and I love baseball. I love a lot of sports, but like, if I had someone like show me UFC, I'd be all in.
Yeah, I think because I was the same way. I was like, it's so barbaric, it's so violent, but
I don't even think that. I just don't know enough about it to appreciate it on the level that most people do, I think.
yeah, because once you get into it, it's very cool, and like the training goes into it, and like it's very methodical and calculated. So
Totally.
much more so than just
I
brutality.
respect it a ton. I wish I knew more, and I just
Right.
don't know what to. So if someone was like, come to my place and watch with me, I'd be like 100%. Please just explain certain things to me, because I don't want to watch like a moron or being like,
Right.
okay, like it's almost like if you go to the museum and I'm like, all right, well, can I have a guide, some background?
Yes.
Something? I just want to know about the thing.
Yeah.
And also I become more attached to them as people. Like I like to know about the person
Yes.
I'm watching. Like that's why I love the NBA. I feel like I know about the drama, and I know about the athletes, and I know like, I know
Huge
what's
help.
at stake, and
Right.
yeah. So I feel like I'm just a person. Like if I watched with Dave and Lewis again, I'd be into it.
Yeah, it's pretty fast. And what I love about UFC and boxing is like that. How the fuck did this guy from Russia and this guy from Ireland and this guy from San Jose get into the same thing, and now they're competing? Like they all had this crazy backstory and
Right.
hardship and struggle. I love that shit. But can I say this? Making
Yeah.
a macro here, I
Yeah.
feel like our YouTube specials, not only like funny and all that, but they have a lot of backstory that people can they sink their teeth into with like the networks wouldn't pick them up. These are fucking New York hustler guys who are just trying to make it, and no one will buy their shit, so they're putting it out on their own. And I think that adds to the appeal of it.
Yeah, I got to promote my new one more like that, in the fact that
Right.
people wouldn't pick it up, and it's like we are trying to put our shit into the world. Like I think the underdog story people want to latch onto. I think that gets them more kind of excited about promoting something or into it.
Definitely. No doubt about it. So
And you're right. Like if you're watching like one of those fucking cornball shows like The Voice or anything, even if you watch like Chopped, like there's always one guy who's like, yeah, I got back from Iraq and my restaurant burned down and my wife left me and now I'm all alone. And then there's another guy who's like, yeah, I just like food. And you're like, I'm rooting for the first guy.
Right. But sometimes that shit is so. I did Last Comic Standing. You did America's Got Talent.
I did Last Comic too.
Oh yeah, they're like,
I think it
what's
was in
your
the year
thing?
after you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I got nothing. I'm a piece of shit. I'm a janitor. Like, you're a janitor? Oh my god. Okay, so you're a poor guy. You're living in a trailer. You beat your wife. I'm like, whoa. I'm just trying to be funny here, but they want the story.
Yeah, well, when they hear janitor, they think you're a different person. They're
Yeah,
trying to.
yeah.
They hear that. Like, I remember I did AGT, and they were like asking questions about me, and they were like, "Oh, you're in a long distance relationship?" I said, "Yeah." They were like, "All right, well, like FaceTime your girlfriend. We'll make it funny." I was like, "I don't want to fucking write
No,
this."
no.
So they made me do it on one, and I just was like, "You know what I miss, honey? Your vagina." They're just trying to make it funny, and they were getting
Yeah.
so mad. I'm like, "Well, at least now I know they won't use it."
Right. Good point. Good
You
point.
know?
They hated me on those shows whenever they would do like a confession one on one. They're like, "Do you think he can beat Reggie?" I'm like, "No, Reggie's a hack. He's gonna kill me." The judges, they don't like real comedy, and they're like, "What are you doing? This
I
is what we
know.
want." They want you to be like, "I'm gonna win this fucking thing. I'm the funniest guy out here," you know. But
Oh, I remember on AGT they were like, "How bad do you want this?" I was like, "Well, if I win, I have to do a residency in Vegas, right?" They're like, "Yeah." I was like, "I fucking hate Vegas. I'm not going to
uh,
Vegas." You know,
they don't want that.
I would just give them whatever they didn't want. I was like, "Just air my stand up. That's all I want."
Yes, please, exactly.
I don't like giving other people control of my story, of my
No,
life, because they especially a fucking show as cheesy as America's Got Talent. Like, I
totally.
mean, God bless Howie Mandel. He's a sweet as hell guy, but you know, like you're part of a machine
Oh
that
yeah,
is just not that your wellness is not. It's not at all on their thoughts.
no,
Uh, so yeah, that's one that I'm just like, yeah, I'd like to tell my own story. I hate what I
right.
just said. My story. Fuck me. This is my story. This is my time. But you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you don't want to give other people, creative control, so to speak.
of course.
What else do you got?
All right.
Oh wait, was that your bit or where
I
are
did a
we?
robe. You did.
No, I think it's
Uh,
your turn.
you did Sesame Street.
Yeah.
All right, let me try another one. Uh, I think like with the way things are going, and this could be a nothing bit, but how long until we have racist rehab? Do we have that yet? I feel like
Yeah.
we got a video of David Hasselhoff shitface, and then he goes to Alcoholics Anonymous, whatever. You got a video of this heroin addict, so he goes to drug rehab. We got a video of Mel Gibson saying, Jewish slurs and the N word and all this. Like, how long till we have a racist rehab? I think that's coming.
Yeah, where someone's like,
You got to
it's
watch
tough.
interracial porn
It's
with your
tough
eyes
because
taped open or
I will
something.
say I'm working on a show with someone. We have canceled Anonymous for it's an animated show.
Oh,
It's different. It's a different bit, but it's like we have a sponsor, so I feel like it's hard for me to give notes on this because
ah,
we have a guy where we wrote in sponsors for people that are canceled.
uh-huh.
So it's like someone gets like in the script was like. It's canceled anonymous. So Michael Richards walks in late, like, ooh, I'm like a Kramer walks in late to the meeting. So that was like, or like,
Ah,
so it's like a hard one for me to give notes on because I'm like, fuck, I feel like it's like not my bit, but it's like hard to riff on,
let me try another one
Try
because
another one.
that one's yeah. I don't want to.
It's a good premise.
All right, I don't want to step on anything or make you
You're
reveal
not
anything.
stepping on anything.
Okay.
It's just a hard one for me to jump in on.
All right, how about this? So you know how kids like we're adults, we're in our 30s, and so we know a little more shit than kids. So we can go, "Hey kid, don't do that. Listen to me. I was there once, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And my friend is transitioning into a man.
Yeah.
And it's a lady transitioning to a man, and I get to be like, "Hey, don't do this shit." And she's kind of like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "Hey, I'm a man. I know more than you about being a man. Like I've lived it. Is that too much of a stretch? Because we were kids, now we're adults. We were boys, now we're men. Maybe it's a stretch.
There's something funny about like, do you think people who transition go to men and be like, is this good?
Right.
Is
Advice.
that's it's like we talk about networking. Do they get any pick your brain on being a man? Like you pick brains on being on a job.
A comic, anything.
Do you pick brains on brains?
Yeah. Like
This is how I am now.
I'm about to get this surgery. Like I'm a man inside, but I'm going to be a man societally, to the
Yeah.
world. Is there any tips you can give me?
Yeah, there's something interesting about that. About like I'm changing. I'm transitioning. Is this the right? It's funny also that like, because it's tough. Like, are they? They're born. We're also going like to a place where like, are they born into the wrong body?
Right.
So like it's like almost like being gay, where you're like, oh, you were born that way, right? That's how I assume it is. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know, but I assume you're born
I think
that
so.
way, and probably with trans, you're born that way. I would think.
Yeah.
So
But how about, hey, I'm a friend. Why not ask me for some tips? You're coming on this team publicly. Shouldn't you want to know some shit?
yeah, it's kind of like I mean, shit. If you moved to Ohio, I wouldn't just move to Ohio. I'd be like, hey,
Right.
Mark, how's Ohio?
Exactly, exactly. I'm not saying you're less of an Ohioan, because you will be living here in Ohio, but I've been in Ohio for 20 years.
I identify as an Ohioan. I might have been born in New York, but
Right.
I think I'm a Toledo type of guy.
There you go. So my point is, where's my friend asking me for advice? Who's more of an expert on being a male than a male?
I wonder if they, but and this is me just being like hoping I don't sound like a fucking idiot here, but like I wonder if they're like, but I am a man.
Right, right.
That's the only
I
thing I'm like, I
know.
am a man. I'm in a woman's body, but I am a man.
Yeah, yeah. But I could be like, you will be treated like this, or you will be thought of this way, or perceived that way. I don't know. It was one of those ideas that hit me in the shower. I was like, oh, that's interesting, but I don't know if there's actually any meat there.
Depends which way they're switching.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, hmm.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
know.
trans bits are hard because I also am like, I always wonder like, I always wonder, I not in like, I'm going to offend somebody. It's more like, is this right? Am I? Is this correct? I'm
Yes,
almost like,
exactly.
am I wrong about this? So like, that's my only thing with trans bits. I'm always like, you know, I don't
Yeah.
know that I don't know that many trans people. I know a couple. I don't know that many. So it's not like a black guy or a gay guy where I'm like, oh, I can ask this.
Right,
It's
right.
easy.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, maybe it's a silly idea. All right, well, what do you got?
Let me see what I got. What do we have? Okay, this is an angle I have about like how women will get offended sometimes if you assume that like a doctor or a lawyer or just someone with a really good job is a man. You know, like
Oh yeah.
if you're just like it's like what was her name? You're like actually it was a guy. All right.
Uh,
Actually, I mean, what was his name? Actually, it was a woman, right? That's what I mean.
yeah.
But they don't do that with bad shit. It's never like a fucking murderer, and they're like, oh, what was his name? Her name was
Right, right.
Francine the Strangler, actually. You know,
That's
something like
funny.
that.
They
I don't
never
know.
do it for the bad shit.
Yeah, well, like, it's like, well, women want they want the accolades, but they don't want like when a woman does something bad, they're just like, that's not all. Like it was like all women. It's almost like women stand together until the going gets tough.
Right, right, right. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah.
That
You
might be
know,
the
it,
whole bit, by the way. That might be fucking done. I don't know if there's any more there.
that feels good. I mean, you don't want to step on the Bill Burr bit of like, feminists are
Right.
cherry picking,
Totally,
we'll
totally.
take equal pay, but we also want you to buy dinner, but we'll take
That's a great bit.
great bit, great bit. And I've
From his half
seen
hour, I think.
yeah,
That's an OG Burr bit.
OG, and the women are dying in the crowd, which is the ultimate sign of a great bit.
But
But yeah, that's great. They never
that's all a
serial
version.
killer. Yeah, the serial killer. She, you know,
She
yeah, a woman can do anything a man can do. All right, you bunch of rapists. That's funny. Yeah, they never do it for the bad. It's always like astronaut. My friend's an astronaut. Oh, what's his name? Her name is Sarah, but it's never
right.
like my friend's an axe murderer. What's his name? Her name is.
I thought you wanted equality.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's something. Well, there's something. It's there's enough to play with. What else you got? You want to do one more each and then call it a day?
let's do one more. All right, all right. I heard this mom yelling at her daughter at like a Target, and she was like, "You slept with that boy." It was like some girl was like 18 or 17. She's like, "You slept with that boy? You're such a slut. How long do you've known him? 2-3 days? You slept with him?" And she's like, "You got to let him take you out, buy you dinner, be a decent human being." Blah blah. And I'm like, it's so weird that fucking a guy you want to fuck is more slutty than or more whorish than letting him buy you dinner and making him wait and then buying you more things and taking you out longer. That is what a prostitute does, literally.
By
Like
the way,
you're
me
getting
clapping
paid.
just now, I probably look like a supervillain right now. No, that's killer. I love it.
Oh, you like that?
I love that. It's my favorite one so far. I mean,
Oh, great.
it's a really interesting commentary on sluttiness,
Yeah, because
on whorishness. Like
you're describing a prostitute. Like, hey, you got to use your vagina to get things. What are you, crazy? You can't give it away? But giving it away is actually the most progressive thing.
yeah, it's funny to be like, you fucked him. It's like, yeah, it's like, did he at least get an eggplant parm out of the whole thing? You know, like
Exactly. Yeah, it's completely backwards. Like that's the symbol of a classy lady is getting as much time and money out of your clam as possible. Crazy.
I like that you say progressive in the next line. Your clam.
Yeah, come on, your hatchet wound is a moneymaker.
No, but it's funny to be like, you're like, I fucked this guy. You did? Okay, what did you get?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what did you, it's like, it's funny to be like it's a heist.
Right. It's like when they say know your worth, and you're like, what? I mean, I wanted to fuck a guy, so I fucked him, but now you're trying to get me to like get goods and services out of my vag.
Yeah, that is really funny. Where you're like, usually sex is like between two people that really like each other. It's not like you're not like I got ripped off. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
Not a scam.
Exactly. But she's like,
Yeah.
you got to use it for, you got to take advantage of that thing and take advantage of him and get stuff out of him. That's what a classy lady does.
It's funny when you say you took advantage of someone. It's like usually it's in a moment of weakness or something. Like you took advantage of that person, which like means they're like on the rebound or something. But in that setting, it's you took advantage means you just got shit.
Yeah. Right.
Like when a man takes advantage of a woman, me too. When a woman takes advantage of a man, lobster bisque.
Ah, nice.
I mean, I don't know.
That's
Like
It's a great line. I always thought it was weird, and this is maybe a separate bit, but like, you take a girl out and she's like, you buying me a burger? That's it? You think you're gonna get anywhere with a burger? I'm like, oh, I didn't know we were, doing a sale here. Like, I didn't know this was a transaction. Isn't that weird? Like a burger and fries? So you think you're getting these pants with the burger and fries? I'm like, I thought I'd get in the pants because you liked me and wanted to hook up with me, but apparently it's all about how much money
I would
I'm
say, well, you got to say after that is like, yeah, I'm taking you a burger and fries because I'm expecting not to fuck you. That's why, because you're going to be gassed and bloated. That's why I got you this shit,
Yeah.
I'm actually a romantic. I'll take you out for chili tomorrow night. I don't give a shit,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to know you.
I know. I'm in here for the long haul here. All right. I'm gonna
maybe
work
that's
on
funny.
this.
That's why women want sushi because you're like, it's light. He's gonna
Exactly.
That means sex is still on the table. Maybe I don't know.
Right. Oh yeah, that's true. All right, what do you got?
Let's see what I got. I don't have much, man. Man, I wrote some unfunny premises down.
Hit me with a premise. I bet we can come up with something.
Let's see. These are like just notes. These aren't even premises yet. Let's see what else we got.
Boy, your skin looks great. I get that
Really?
light setup. Yeah.
I don't have a light setup. It's a lamp. I don't have
Not a
it's not like I got
blemish,
ring.
not a cut, not a zit, not a scar.
Thank
Nothing.
you. Well, I try, man.
I'm coming off a weekend bender over here.
Oh, is this funny at all? I was talking to a guy. Oh, you went hard this weekend?
Oh yeah, I was in Austin, so you got to go after it.
Rogan this week.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh.
What do I have? Okay, so I have. Here's an idea I had. I don't know if there's anything, but my mom was like, she was telling me, she's like, oh, my friend Steve's mother passed away, and I was like, oh my God, that's horrible. And she goes, well, she was 97. And I was like, so she lived a long life. She goes, but she was sick for a long time. I was like, just tell me how to feel, and I'll feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what you want here.
Sometimes people just take you on these fucking roller coasters of emotion. I'm just like, I can't. I like to feel steady.
Yeah.
I don't
Yes.
like
Exactly.
I don't like to do this shit. It's you know another time people do that is like you ever just talking to someone they try to like drag you down. Where I was talking to someone once and she goes, "How are you?" Especially in this pandemic, people are fucking miserable and misery likes company. So
Yep.
someone talked to me. She goes, "Have you been?" And I said, "Oh, I'm doing all right. I'm doing pretty well." And she goes, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yeah. Are you trying to talk me out of it?" And
Right.
she goes, "Okay." And I was like, "Okay, fuck you. Okay." Like you don't
Yeah.
accept it.
Right. Ugh. I hate that.
I don't like people that try to put you in a mood that are like,
Yes.
"This is how you should feel."
Yes. Exactly. Like
I
Colin
like
Quinn.
control, and maybe I'm giving them too much power. My therapist would say.
Sure. But Colin Quinn used to have that great joke when somebody goes, "How you doing? Good?" And you're like, "Well, you just gave me one option. Like you've already.
Oh,
How
that's
you doing?
good.
Good? Like you just already answered it. So why the fuck are you talking to me?"
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah,
funny.
but the dead parent thing or the sick mom, whatever. I was on a flight once, and this guy was crying or like sad next to me, and I was like, "Oh, hey," and he's like, "Yeah, my mom died. I'm going to her funeral," and I went, "Oh, I'm sorry," and he goes, "Did you do it?" And I go, "No," and he goes, "What the hell are you sorry for?" I was like, "I don't give a shit about your mom. I was trying to be nice. It's
Yeah, it's
it's
called having human compassion. I'm trying to be a
yeah, like
decent. It's what you
Jesus
say.
Christ."
It's what you say. That person thinks they're like roasting you or something. Like, gotcha. Did you do it? You should have been like, yeah, I killed your fucking whore. I killed your fucking whore mother. That's what I
Yeah,
did. Go fuck
yeah,
yourself.
she choked on my dick.
Cut to you getting thrown off of like, ah, fucking piece of shit.
Your mom's a skank.
He's just fucking wailing on you.
Yeah.
Fuck
I'm
that
like that little
guy.
Asian guy they dragged off.
Fuck that guy.
That's interesting. Just tell me how to feel because I'm doing all this for you here, buddy. Like your mom, I don't know your mom. Your mom's sick. Okay, I'm sorry. Like,
I know. We were
stop taking
just
me on a
like,
roller coaster.
yeah, my mom also, I'm sure you're dealing with this too. You talk to your parents, you're just getting a fucking list of people that are either sick or dying right now.
Oh,
It's
dude.
tough. And
It,
like, look, you try to be like, all right, shit.
yeah. It's like
We know them too, obviously, not as many, but
sure, but it's like a newsletter now. My mom's like, "Oh, you remember Terry? You remember Ronnie? You remember Joe?" And you're like, "Yes, yes, all right. I
yeah,
just got here."
I told my mom, what's the news? It's the obituary section. That's the
Yeah.
news. All right.
Yeah. That's all your mom is, the obituary. That and the weather.
It is the weather and also like whatever. Take your vitamins, floss. Does your mom do that?
Nah, my dad's more the health guy.
Yeah. Your dad's healthy?
Oh, dude. My dad was doing yoga in like the 80s. And I would
Ooh.
walk in on him. A little ironic. I'd walk in on him and he's like, hmm. And I was like, "Dad," he's like, "Get the hell out of here." I was like, "Jesus, this yoga's not working." But yeah, my dad's a real
Get the
health
hell
nut.
out of here.
Yeah, my dad's keto. He's all that shit.
Oh, he's healthy. Oh
Oh
shit.
yeah.
All right, well, I mean, I feel like this is a good app, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Did you want to say a pet peeve before we go?
I feel like those are pet peeves.
Yeah.
What do you got? Hit me with one.
Well, I had one thing that happened to me today that I fucking hate, and it's
Hit
pretty
me.
specific. But I'm getting on a flight, so you got to show the guy your boarding pass just to get in the security line, and he looks at it and he goes, "You're boarding pretty soon." And I was like, "Oh, what do you mean?" He's like, "Well, you're gonna have to hurry up." And I'm like, "I have a half hour." He's like, "Hey, you want to push it? That's your call." I'm like, You're wasting more of my time. Like, what do you want me to be upset that I'm boarding soon? Like, I know that. Get out of here.
30 minutes. I'm sure you got pre-check and shit.
Pre-check. There's no one at the airport. It's a pandemic. Like, I just hated that guy.
Oh, do you ever I mean, I remember the guy fuck with me so hard. I don't know if I ever told you this story, but years ago, maybe 8 years ago or so, Gilda's Fest, remember that fest in
Oh
Michigan?
yeah, that was fun.
I
Grand
did it, yeah,
Rapids.
not fun for me. It's so stupid I am. I booked a gig on Cheapo Air.
Oh yeah.
It's called Cheapo Air. So the Connect flight, it's like, by the way, I should have seen this as a red flag. I have a Connect flight, but they're different airlines, which means if you miss it, neither airline is accountable.
Right, right.
So
That's
guess
true.
what? I missed my Connect flight, and I had to go to Delta and be like, "Hey man, what do I do?" And the guy is literally laughing in my face, and I just at a certain point I go, "Fuck you," and he was like, "What?" I go, "Fuck you." I go, you're a fucking ass. He's making fun of me. And you can tell I'm
Yeah.
panicking. And I go, fuck you. So the woman next to me could see I'm losing my shit. She goes, let me help you. Thank God. I had to buy a $583 ticket to Grand Rapids on the spot, a Connect ticket.
Oh, brutal.
As this guy's laughing at
Cheapo.
me, as I walk by, I go, fuck you.
It's almost worth it for the fuck
It was
you,
worth it. It was worth it. I already had the ticket. I was good to go.
but by the way, hilarious that you spent $500+ on a cheapo air. Like they got that fuck. It's like when you go Spirit, and then they're like, okay, actually with the bags, with the armrest,
I
with the
know.
water, with the seat, now it's $700.
Oh, dude, it fucking, I lost my mind. What are you gonna do?
That's horrible.
It's my
Cheapo
fault.
air.
It's my fault.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, I don't know. You missed the connect. That's not on you. That's the flight was delayed, I guess.
Yeah.
But cheapo is not reliable. It's better than Deadbeat Air. That's where I got miles with them. Frugal Air.
I sometimes go with you're gonna regret this air. They're pretty bad.
Yeah, yeah. Get your life together, Air.
You're a fucking vagrant.
Yeah.
You're a
Yeah.
fucking hobo air.
Right. You're worthless. You're nothing. Fuck you. Kill yourself.
I'm in first
Air.
class. I've got a marshmallow roasting over a fucking fire pit. Like, come on. Ooh,
Yeah. $500. That's brutal.
brutal. What are you
It's
gonna
funny
do?
how that would bother me for like a year, but that's probably what, 7 years ago. You don't even think about it.
It still bothers me.
Nah, I don't blame you. I'd be the same way.
This is a hot app, man. This is fun.
Yeah, yeah. I like the new segments. What's the name? One more drink.
One more drink. 'Cause
Yes.
that's what we've been doing.
Oh yeah, and I will probably get one
done.
more after this because
One
now
more.
I'm jonesing.
I'm jonesing, man. This was hot. This is a good app.
Good up. All right. Well, I'll see you next week, Fatty.
See you next week.